James, we'll start with the social media boycott this week, if that's all right. I know that you've tweeted personally about joining it. What action do you want to see come from social media companies and the like as a result of this weekend?
Well, morning, Adam. Yes, a poignant start, I believe. I just think we've got a responsibility, all of us. It hasn't been good enough, has it, with the messages and the discrimination online, from the top level to our level, and below. And we've all got a responsibility, from club officials to players to playing staff to supporters. And really, it needs to improve, and social platforms need to do more to stop it. It's unacceptable, and I'm certainly playing my part and doing the best I can on that. And I'm sure all my peers will be as well.
Have you and your players experienced online abuse firsthand from people that are in the public eye?
Yeah, it's regular. It's across the board, I believe. All professional football teams and players within it and playing staff have, but the majority of us have. So, yep, it needs to improve, and hopefully this is a step forward and a show of unity.
Have you had any particular conversations with your staff and your players about social media, or any guidance to them about what you think should or shouldn't be done, or do you like to leave people to make their own decisions?
If there's a problem, my door's always open, and we have protocols in place here at the club that if we need to act, we can. But yeah, it's up to the individual. I trust the players. If you're talking about the players only, yeah, I trust them to come to me with any problems like that if they need to, or if they want to sort it out themselves. I'm sure they can. But yeah, we have protocols in place if necessary.
Clearly, there's a lot of issues on social media, but you're on yourself. What do you like about it? What are the sort of positives to it that hopefully we can get back to?
Well, we don't want to stop those communication lines with the supporters, especially the way the world's going and the technology being more advanced. It's a way of interacting. It's a good togetherness on there, and for all the 1% of discriminatory action, 99% the communication is positive, and I believe the supporters base enjoy the interaction. So I think it's the way forwards, as long as it's professional on there, which I'll always remain. And I like that interaction with the supporters, but it's not just on the good results. It's showing unity on the poor results too, but also it gives them a link directly into things that perhaps they don't see on the day-to-day. With these interviews and stuff, it's very much formal and staged. It's the other side as well. So hopefully the supporters are enjoying that interaction with me, and respect sort of works both ways, really.
Ahead of the weekend, any fresh injury concerns to worry about?
No. We rested Curtis on Tuesday because of the actual 4G. It would have been too much impact on his Achilles, so he's back into training. Jack McCourt's had 3 positive days training now, so yeah, we're looking a lot stronger than we did 2 weeks ago.
Are changes inevitable this weekend with 2 games across the 3 days?
Yeah, 2 humdingers. But these are the games we want to be involved in. There's a lot of smiles on faces. We're having a lot of fun during this period. Yes, you're going to hit some lows with the results, but I was really impressed with how consistent we were with our identity in the 4 or 5 games. Perhaps we didn't get the results the XG warranted and our play warranted, but it came to fruition on Tuesday, the fact that we've stuck to our principles, and the way we played on Tuesday on the bounce back from those results and perhaps not getting what we deserved at Wrexham was impressive.
It appeared Gavin Gooden and Curtis Weston might not be able to play both games over the course of this weekend, given the sort of issues they're dealing with. Is that going to be the case for a few people at this stage of the season? There's always somebody that's carrying a little bit of something.
Yeah, I would believe, in my experience, it will be across playing squads now. The intensity of the games and the frequency of the games has been relentless since I've been here, for sure. I just still can't believe there's only 5 subs. I keep saying it. We need some help. We've got to be having 7 subs if we're calling ourselves an elite league. That really needs looking at, especially with the frequency of fixtures.
Is that something that's been discussed at all? Are you aware about? Because it blows my mind, to be honest, that you can have 9 subs in other leagues and 7 in some leagues, and there's still only 5 in the National League.
Yeah, it hasn't been raised, not to my knowledge, but yeah, it blows my mind too.
In terms of the week so far, I mean, a couple of poor results at home, but followed up with 4 points away. I mean, you must be pleased with the sort of reaction, and you already talked about the character of the side in the period you've just had.
Yeah, but if you quantify the word poor home results, we lost by obviously 1 goal to 2 playoff rivals, and in those fixtures we certainly played our part, and we should have got something out of the games, minimum draws. So yes, okay, the results didn't go our way, but performance levels have been high, and I'm focused purely on the performance levels because I'm sure the results will come over a 42 game season. If you perform to the levels that we have since I've been here, late November, then the results speak for themselves, and the points tally speaks for itself over that 26, 27 game period that I've had.
First goals for Jack Clark and George Carline. Important for them and the team?
Yeah, it's important that you get goals from everywhere, isn't it? And it was great to see Jack get his first senior goal. He's worked hard for that since he's been in the building with us. And George, we've been saying it for weeks, coming on that back post, and he finally got their 3rd time lucky in that game on Tuesday, and I was delighted for George.
Interesting, I read it's your best away run at the minute since 1933 as a club, which is quite a feat. What does it say about the team's character that they've managed to collect so many points on the road?
Yeah, there's a great camaraderie in that change room. Very level-headed as well. I've said it many times as well. Never too low on the results that don't go our way. Never too high on the victories. And certainly when I was on the coach after the Bromley victory, yes, in that moment it was pleasing in the change room. It was the result we deserved, but my mind's fully focused on the weekend ahead.
Because the next 2, I mean, up against 3rd and 1st, it's going to be a tough ask, but do you look at this as an opportunity to kind of lay down a marker to everyone else in the race for promotion?
I think let's just focus on the one game, and then I can worry about Torquay on the coach home. So if we're looking at Hartlepool, it's a great game for our club to be involved in, to have something to play for at the top end. They're obviously going for the title. We sort of missed that boat now. It was just too much of an ask, I think, for us to get in the shake-up for the title. So, yeah, it's playoffs. Our focus is purely on can we get in those playoffs. It's as simple as that. We've got seven games left now. We know what tally we need. And I think this game is a good benchmark for us as an experienced manager who's been in the playoffs himself, had trophy success with Fylde and come across to Hartlepool. And similarly, the way he sets his team up, be a real challenge for us because they like to dominate the ball too. So I'm sure it'll be a good spectacle. I think it'll be open. I think both teams will try and play with their identity and really go and win the game. We'll certainly be going there to try and win it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how we can match up against a team that's had a pre-season together, got an experienced manager and some experienced players, and like to play through the thirds. I think it'll be a good challenge for both teams.
Yeah, 15 unbeaten Hartlepool. It's quite an impressive run. What are the biggest threats that they will pose to your team?
Well, it means they're closer to a defeat if they've had 15 unbeaten. So let's be clear about that. But let's not underestimate them. They're a good team. They're in the shake-up for the title for a reason. I really like the way they play and they set up. But we'll have our own influence on the game, I think, and we like to play too. So let's see how it unfolds. Certainly, the team that will come out on top will be the best team out of possession, because both teams have got technical players.
From what you were saying, do you feel that the top three is too big an ask now? Because with a win against Hartlepool, I mean, the point swing could give you an outside chance.
Well, I just alluded to that it's playoffs for us if we can. If we can achieve that, then obviously it's a good thing for us. But I've said it: if you get in the playoffs without promotion, there's no, there's no need to get in the playoffs. We want to obviously get promotion. So 2nd to 7th gets you in those playoffs. Anything's achievable from 2nd to 7th.
You've played 3 times since Hartlepool last played. How could that affect the game this weekend?
Well, I'm not sure how their games got called off on Saturday. I don't really know how that's happened. But yeah, we've had 3 games. We've had a tough run in. But sometimes when you don't play, you can lose that rhythm. And obviously, their last game, I'm sure they'd like to have a game straight after that with the 7-2 victory they had at Wealdstone. So I'm sure they were chomping at the bit the last few weeks to get out there and play again, because sometimes you can get a rhythm when games come thick and fast. Hopefully we've got that rhythm now and we can take that momentum into the game.
Good luck, James. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Good morning, James.
Hi.
And the Hartlepool manager has said that this weekend is the biggest one of the season, given the 2 games in 3 days. Do you agree with that?
We've had many a big weekend the last few weeks, so yeah, this is just another one. Of course, 2 wins over a bank holiday weekend, 6 points can jump you up the table. Obviously, they're going for the title, so yeah, I can understand why he said that. Yeah.
How much significance do you put on this weekend then? How do you think it'll shape the rest of the season?
Nothing will be won or lost this weekend, but you can take a step forward perhaps for what your objectives are at the end of the season, your individual objectives as a club. When you have 2 games in quick succession like this, obviously you can take a big step forward.
And as Adam said, Hartlepool are 15 games unbeaten. Do you think this is your biggest test since being appointed manager?
I would say the biggest test was restoring confidence in the group. That was a little bit shot to bits when I came here. I think that's been the biggest challenge, and recruiting that we have to ensure we're within budget next year and to reshape a squad that looks like it can go forwards now and in the future. That's been the biggest challenge.
And do you feel like this team has got a few more gears left in it, despite the hectic schedule? Do you feel like it's still got another level to go?
I think the second half against Wrexham and the first hour against Bromley, I think we hit performance levels that we haven't sort of matched really since I've been here. I thought we really reached high levels of performance in and out of possession, showed real progress. If we can try and sustain those levels for 90-minute periods now, that would be key. And I also think we can manage the latter stages of the game with the ball better slightly. So our possession's been slightly less in the latter stages when we're in the lead, and that was before this run of 5 games. I think we can manage it a little bit better. I think we're still learning as a group, and you're always evolving and learning while you get left behind. So we've got a group now where hopefully that evolvement will be smaller steps rather than the biggest steps we needed when I first come in.
And the club announced last week a new 1-year contract for Grant Smith. Are you pleased to get that one over the line?
Yeah, he's been excellent, hasn't he, since he's come in. His clean sheets mirror that excellence. Obviously, the back 5 and the pressure from the front has played a big part into him keeping clean sheets. But when called upon, excellent. And I thought his recovery from the mistake on Tuesday, because we all make mistakes. It's just when a goalkeeper makes mistakes, it's more highlighted because normally you're the last man protecting the goal. So, but what a finish by the young lad Jude there to chip him. It was a great finish from them, from their point of view. From us, we can't obviously make mistakes like that if we want to do anything, or regular mistakes like that. But the recovery and the bounce back from Grant to pull off the save at the end shows the type of character he is, and that's the character I want in the change room.
Absolutely, and I suppose it was an honest mistake in that he was trying to play out from the back, which is how you want to play. So it wasn't as if it was an sort of something out of the blue. He was trying to do the right thing, wasn't he?
Yeah, and at times the defenders have given the ball away when trying to play out because of the demands I'm putting on them to try and play through and build up from deep. but we've recovered because we might have a covering defender, or you might have the goalie pulling off a save, Grant pulling off a save from the mistake. Like I just said, alluded to, if the goalie makes a mistake, it can lead to disastrous circumstances. So yeah, it was an equaliser against the run of play, and what I liked is how we came back as a group and got the winner, and also defended the goal in the latter stages.
And just finally, you've brought in a new first team coach in the last week. What can you tell us about him, and why did you want to bring him in?
Well, the role here requires a lot of time for different things, and I want to ensure that the players are getting their individual development. They've got their individual objectives that they work to over 12-week periods, and Danny can support me on that because he's a modern coach in terms of he can use the technology, so he can clip things for me. He can work with the multidisciplinary staff here, and the way we want to progress as a club, we need a first team coach to be able to coach the individuals, but also on the sideline, he's very experienced. He's won this league, obviously, underneath Justin at Leyton Orient, where they didn't have such a good season. Justin came in midway through that season, and Danny supported him, and they recovered to a safe position. And then the following year, they went and won the league. So I like that. He's been part of a transformational leadership, if you like, within a club that's bounced back from that position to win the league the following year. So certainly he'll bring a lot to the role.